I've been GPU mining Xelis for the past week with 48 GPUs. How profitable has it been? What's been going on? Let's take a look at my farm. As you guys know, I've been building 11 GPU mining rigs for a customer with all 3070s, but while I'm in the process of building them, I've been testing these rigs for long-term stability. So I'll test each one for 2 to 3 days, and I've basically just been rotating these rigs out. These two here, 8 cards, and this rig on the top, 8 cards as well. I also have my 12 card rig, and then hidden behind all this is my other 12 card rig. So technically right here is only 24 of my GPUs, and the other 24 are rigs that I'm testing for a client. I've been building GPU mining rigs for clients as a bit of a side hustle, so shoot me an email if you're interested. If you're wondering what this whole kind of contraption is right here, well, it's probably the greatest thing I've ever designed on my crypto mining journey. It's taking all the heat from all the graphics cards and bringing in fresh air and sucking it through the GPUs and then pulling it out of a huge 8,000 CFM exhaust fan in the back. And since implementing this, my garage ambient temperature has gone from like 105 degrees on the hottest days during the summer to barely above 90. So I'm very thankful for that because I was getting sweaty as hell filming these videos in here, and now it's really not too bad. It's like the same temperature as outside. So I'm gonna hop behind the camera, let's take a closer look, and then we're gonna go onto the computer and look up how much money I've made mining Xelis for the past week with 48 GPUs. Let's get into it.
Today's video is sponsored by emcd.io, a convenient crypto ecosystem based on the top 7 Bitcoin mining pool in the world. EMCD has everything you need for your crypto mining operations: a secure crypto wallet, a fast peer-to-peer exchange, and the coin hold feature to earn passive income for your crypto. emcd.io offers mining pools for the biggest mineable coins, including Bitcoin, Doge, Caspa, Litecoin, ETC, and many more. Their mining pools have a low fee of 1.5%. Mining rewards can be immediately deposited into the coin hold program to earn up to 14% annually, essentially eliminating the 1.5% mining fee. Check out the emcd.io platform by using the link down below. Use code modernmining to get 33% discount on the mining pool fees for 7 days. As always, do your own research before depositing crypto into third-party applications. Thank you to emcd.io for sponsoring this video.
So as I mentioned, we have one 12 card rig there, one 12 card rig there, and then an 8 GPU rig, 8 GPU rig, and 8 GPU rig. And you can see behind there is that massive exhaust fan built within a self-enclosed little insulation hut, basically. So let's take a look at my Hive OS. You can see that I've got 48 GPUs, 5 rigs running, and it's estimating $13.44 in power every single day, or 5,150 watts. Now let's see how accurate that number really is. So if we go over here, I'm actually at about 5,350, so slightly higher than the computer, but that's to be expected. Hive OS is not always accurate, but that's pretty accurate. So keep that number in mind when we check profitability later, about 5,350 watts. I'm not mining Xelis anymore because I have so many cards on this 30 amp 240 volt circuit that if I mined Xelis, I would go over the 5,700 watt limit to safely run on a 30 amp 240 volt outlet. So this is about the maximum amount of cards I can run, and they are all overclocked very low. So they're about as low power usage as they can be, which also means they're more profitable because they're using less power. So let's go inside real quick. I'll show you the status of the other rigs for this big build I'm doing, and then we'll hop on the computer and take a look at some details and my thoughts on Xelis as a project, because it's been amazing for GPU miners. It took me from having to almost turn off all my rigs to this right here. So quite a difference. And I've been mining Xelis that whole time. So it's basically all thanks to Xelis. So let's head inside. So this is what we're working with inside. You can see I've got 8 mining rigs right here, and these are actually all complete. So I've done all the building I need to do. All of the mining rigs are finished. 8 here, 3 in the garage. That's 11 for 80 GPUs total. And I also have these sitting out waiting for an epic 12 card RGB mining rig build that I'm going to be doing soon. So hit that subscribe button if you want to see that. I'm super excited for this. These are all For the Win 3 edition graphics cards. So that is going to be an awesome rig once it's complete. I'm going to add 3 more that I have just sitting out on the shelf out there. So it'll be another 12 card rig. And once I sell all these rigs, then I will have 3 12 card rigs for 36 GPUs. So let's head upstairs and take a look at how profitable these 48 GPUs have been over the last week.
All right, so before we jump into Xelis, my profitability, my thoughts on Xelis, just take a look at how insane this stack of SSDs is. I'm working on flashing all of them and then putting the rig config files of all the clients' rigs on here, so they're just plug and play. But I mean, this thing is a hefty block of SSDs. So let's jump into the computer and take a look real quick at the temperatures, because I was gone for the last week and I let this run with my new setup with the garage closed the entire time, and the temperatures were incredible. So I'm pulling up these pictures real quick. Unfortunately, I only got one picture of the temperature of the cards, but you can see the difference between the ambient and the exhaust because of the new Govee temperature sensors I got. Link down below. Those are awesome. So right here is at 2 p.m. and it's about 92 degrees probably at this point. So the ambient temperature, this sensor is just hanging in the garage. The exhaust sensor is actually in the little insulation box, the air that's getting exhausted. So you can see there's an 8-degree temperature delta between those two, which is very sizable. And it's pretty awesome because it used to be where my whole garage would be 95 degrees because that air was just in the garage getting hot. And now my garage stays at the ambient temperature, so it's significantly cooler in the garage, which is making less heat radiate up through the floor into my bedroom, which is a huge perk. But let's look at the temps of the GPU. So at 2 p.m., every single GPU, and these are open card frames, not server cases, is sitting below 60 degrees at the minimum fan. They're all sitting at 45 degrees, and they are very, very cool. So I'm having no temperature issues at all, which is awesome because the cooler these run, also the less power they use. I don't know if you guys knew that, but the hotter the room is, the more power your mining rigs are going to use because of increased resistance. So that's been working great. Now let's talk a little bit about Xelis. So Xelis has been insanely good for GPU miners over the past 2 months. If you've been mining, I'm sure you've heard of it. It's been the most profitable coin that whole time. And Xelis has some big news coming up. They're going to be releasing a hard fork to switch the algorithm to kick off all the FPGAs on it. Basically, the developers, they say it all the time in the Discord, they are very pro GPU mining and CPU mining, and they don't like the centralization of FPGAs and ASIC miners. So they're switching the algorithm to kick them off. And that's awesome news for GPU miners, because if FPGAs take up 20% or 30% of the current hash rate, all of that profit will be going to GPU miners after the new algorithm. If CPU miners get on, maybe they take 10% of that, so maybe we won't get all of it, but it should still be a huge bump to GPU mining profits. But it actually gets better than this. Based on the Discord, the developers have been saying that the new GPU algorithm will use less power than the current algorithm. So if we're still making the same or more amount of coin each day and it stays the same price, but we're using less power, that's also going to bump up the profitability of GPU mining. So those are both very good news in the coming future. If you want to learn more about that hard fork, go to Seb's FinTech channel. He just did a great video on this, and I'll put a link down below to it. It's not up there, it's down here. But continuing on with Xelis, another amazing thing about it is that it's held up price-wise very well considering how rough the crypto mining coin market has been over the last month. Every coin is basically at lows for the last 3 months, and Xelis is as well, but it's holding up extremely well. So when it released, it was around $17, peaked all the way up to $35 at one point, and is now sitting at $15. So it's really lost like 10% over 3 months. Whereas if we look at some of these other coins, especially right after they release, I've already got it pulled up right here, Carlson, this is just over the last 3 months, but it's way worse if we look from release 25 cents and now it's down to like a fifth of a cent. So huge crash. And the reason why these mineable coins crash like this normally is because there's so much sell pressure from people mining them and wanting to cash out to pay off their power or to switch into Bitcoin or buy other coins. There's a lot of selling pressure, but Xelis, I guess, has a lot of buying pressure because it's staying very flat, which has been amazing for GPU miners because as long as the price stays where it's at, it's been profitable to mine, which is awesome. So digging in a little bit further, what is the emissions of Xelis? How much money are GPU miners making every single day? And if we look at the emissions tab, we'll sort by emissions. Xelis is making 110K every single day for GPU miners, and Raven coin is coming up second as the second best GPU mineable coin at 70K. So Xelis is blowing the competition out of the water. And the crazy thing is that Xelis is only making about 3 times less than Ethereum Classic. So it's providing a lot of money to GPU miners. If Xelis 16x's, which is obviously you never want to bank on a crazy price appreciation like that, but just to prove a point, it would be at the emissions of Caspa. And think of all the Caspa ASIC miners that are out there. So Xelis, prayers that it continues doing good, but if it 5x's in the coming altcoin market or just over Bitcoin's bull market, this is going to go up to 2 or 3 or 400K, and GPU mining could be back in a big way. So what is my farm making? That's kind of the whole point of this video. What am I making on 48 GPUs over the past week? It's important to take into account where we were at a month ago. I filmed this video when I was about to have to turn off my GPU mining rigs because they were breaking even. I was basically profiting $0 after power, and that was just 1 month ago. And now if we do the calculations, 48 GPUs, I don't know the exact quantities, so it's probably like 32 and then 16. Let's calculate that on hashrate NO and just see what it's saying. So 11 cents, and it's saying we're profiting $5.2, 18.76 revenue. But let's get our actual numbers. So if we go to viper.net, the pool I've been mining on, last 24 hours, I've made $22. And how does that compare to hashrate NO? It's about $4 more than the revenue. But my power usage is more than what it's calculating here. So let's calculate our power usage. We determined I was using 5.35 kilowatts, and with 720 hours a month, that is this 3,852 kilowatt hours per month times my 11-cent power. I'm using $423 in power every single day, which is pretty crazy. That's more than I normally want to spend because I don't sell coins to pay for power. I pay for it all out of pocket so that I can either make a lot of money when these coins go up, or if they never go up, then I'm going to be out power money, which kind of sucks, but normally I don't have this many cards, so it's not this expensive. But continuing on with the power calculations or the profitability calculations. So if I'm paying $423 a month in power and I'm making $22 a day, where does that put us? So if I do 22 times 30 days in a month, 660 revenue minus 423, I'm making $240 a month in profit, or about $8 a day in profit. which is awesome. So you can see just how quickly the GPU market can change from making $0 to $8 a day in just a month. And obviously I doubled the cards, so even if I got rid of the doubling of the cards, then it would still be $4 a day, which is basically infinitely percent better than the $0 a day I was making a month ago. So things have been awesome. Also, if you're interested in getting into crypto mining or you have questions, consider becoming a channel member and joining the Discord. We've got a lot of new miners in there at this point. It's been going really good, so it's the cheapest channel membership around. I'll be happy to see you guys in there. If you want to learn how I built that crazy insulation room, check out this video. I explain the whole process and all the materials that I've used. See you guys next time. Modern Mining out.